That's not easy for Crawford. I mean, it's Canelo has the big advantage, but Crawford needs to manage well his body, his speed, and his power, because he's moving up to another level of weight.
Because quite a lot's been made of this size difference, and a lot of people who have got Canelo as a favourite make a big deal about the size. Is that at all? Is it an issue for you? Do you think, right, okay, he's big, he's a big lad, he's campaigned up at 175?
Well, yeah, he's definitely bigger than me in weight, but you know, I have my tools that is better than him as well.
What do you make of the matchup and the weight difference between the two?
You know what? It's all, again, it's up to the individual. It's always up to the individual.
Manny Pacquiao has just warned Terence Crawford not to fight Canelo Alvarez as he thinks Crawford is too small. On the other hand, Teddy Atlas expressed his views on a potential clash between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. He made it clear that while he holds Canelo in high regard and respects his accomplishments, his confidence leans strongly toward Crawford. This belief isn't new or based on Canelo's recent performance, which Atlas felt was not particularly impressive. He has favored Crawford since the idea of the fight was first mentioned nearly 2 years ago. To Atlas, Crawford's overall skill set and ring intelligence give him the edge.
I'm taking Crawford. He'll handle it all. That's it. I am. I'm not in any way trying to shortcome the tremendous fighter named Canelo. I like Canelo a lot, but I like Crawford more. I like Crawford, and I liked him before Canelo didn't look great in his last fight against Skull. I liked him when the fight was first made 2 years ago, or talked about 2 years ago, or close to 2 years ago.
Moreover, Jake Paul commented on the promotion around a potential Crawford versus Canelo fight, saying he found the friendly interactions between the two fighters corny. He felt that real competitors shouldn't be going out to dinner or showing that level of respect before stepping into the ring. In his view, that kind of approach takes away from the intensity and seriousness of a true fight buildup, and it's not something he would personally be part of.
What do you think about, you know, the way that it's been promoted? It seemed like they were very friendly, they were going to dinner, then there was a push. Just what are your thoughts on the whole thing?
I think it's corny, to be honest. You know, I tweeted, imagine if Ronaldo and Messi had dinner together before the World Cup. That's just not how real competitors. You think Michael Jordan was doing that type of shit? So I think it's corny, and I would never engage in any of those activities.
However, Manny Pacquiao offered a cautious perspective on Terence Crawford moving up 2 weight classes to face Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds. He acknowledged the significant challenge ahead, noting that Canelo would have a clear size advantage. Pacquiao emphasized that Crawford would need to carefully manage his body, maintain his speed, and find a way to carry his power into the higher weight class. For Pacquiao, the jump isn't just about skill, but about handling the physical demands of a much bigger division.
That's not easy for Crawford. I mean, it's Canelo has the big advantage, but Crawford needs to manage well his body, his speed, and his power, because he's moving up to another level of weight.
Manny Pacquiao added more insight on what a smaller fighter like Crawford should focus on when preparing to face a much bigger and stronger opponent like Canelo. Drawing from his own experience, Pacquiao stressed the importance of more than just speed. He pointed to technique, strategy, and precision as key factors. He advised that every aspect of training, from combinations to timing, should be tailored specifically to the opponent's style. In his view, success at that level depends on smart, focused preparation, not just physical ability.
You know, preparing like that opponents, like is not only the speed, but you know, the techniques that you can use in the fight. Like, make sure that in your daily routine, training routine, like that, make sure that all the techniques, strategy, combination, like, you know, it's accurate to your opponent's style.
However, Terence Crawford responded to concerns about the size difference between him and Canelo, downplaying it as a major factor in the fight. While he acknowledged that Canelo is naturally bigger and has fought at higher weight classes, Crawford made it clear that he believes his own skill set outweighs that disadvantage. He emphasized having tools that he feels are superior and suggested that his strength is often underestimated. In doing so, he appeared to dismiss some of Manny Pacquiao's earlier cautions, showing confidence that size alone won't decide the outcome.
Because quite a lot's been made of this size difference, and a lot of people who have got Canelo as a favourite make a big deal about the size. Is that at all? Is it an issue for you? Do you think, right, okay, he's a big lad, he's campaigned up at 175?
Well, yeah, he's definitely bigger than me in weight, but you know, I have my tools that is better than him as well. So it's gonna make for a great fight.
So the size you don't think is a massive factor? Do you consider? Do you accept it as a factor or not?
I don't think it's a massive factor.
No.
You know, not at all.
Sounds like you feel like you've got more skill level or more other attributes.
Moreover, Sugar Ray Leonard gave his thoughts on the Canelo versus Crawford matchup, acknowledging the size difference between the two, but making it clear where his belief lies. He pointed out that during their brief face-off, Canelo looked physically stronger, even appearing to push Crawford back. Still, when asked what usually wins in a fight, size or speed, Leonard was firm in his answer. He chose speed, repeating it with confidence, suggesting that in his experience, speed has the greater impact when used effectively.
What do you think about Canelo versus Crawford?
I watch.
You'll watch it, but what do you make of the matchup and the weight difference between the two?
You know what? It's up to the individual. It's always up to the individual.
Crawford tried to push up on Canelo there. It looked like Canelo wasn't pushed back too much, and he actually pushed Crawford, send him back a little bit. Did you get a chance to see that face-off and their physical interactions or whatnot?
Not really, no. All right, guys. Thank you, man.
Last one for you, Ray. Size or speed? What usually wins in fights? Because that's what they're saying the tale of Canelo Crawford is.
Speed. I like speed.
Speed.
George Groves expressed his admiration for both Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, calling them amazing fighters. He acknowledged Canelo's dominance since moving up to middleweight and admitted that if he had known Canelo was making that jump, he might have waited longer before retiring to test himself against him. Groves respects the skill and experience of both men, noting that they remain in excellent form and perform at a high level despite being veterans.
Yeah, a brilliant fight, an exciting fight. I love both fighters. I think they're both amazing fighters. Crawford, amazing fighter. Canelo, he's come up to middleweight and absolutely dominated. If I'd known he was coming up, I might have hung out a little bit longer. Right? I'd love to have tested myself against him. Like always, he's beaten everyone. So you think, well, maybe I think I had an idea. I got a plan. But yeah, nothing but respect for both those two guys. I'm looking forward to the fight.
At the same time, Groves pointed out the significant size difference between the two, calling it a major factor in the fight. He described the challenge for Crawford as a tall order, emphasizing that size will play a big role in the outcome. While anything can happen in a fight, Groves believes it will be a tough task for Crawford to overcome Canelo's advantage as a super middleweight.
Yeah, a brilliant fight, an exciting fight. I love both fighters. I think they're both amazing fighters. Crawford, amazing fighter. Canelo, he's come up to middleweight and absolutely dominated. If I'd known he was coming up, I might have hung out a little bit longer. Right? I'd love to have tested myself against him. Like always, he's beaten everyone. So you think, well, maybe I think I had an idea. I got a plan. But yeah, nothing but respect for both those two guys. I'm looking forward to the fight. I think obviously it's a fight that's thrown together. They're the wrong weights. You know, there's such a big size difference at play. They're both, you know, veterans, if you will, but they're both in really good form. They're both still performing at the, you know, a real high level. None of them have sort of shot, finished, or sliding. So I'm really looking forward to it. You know, I won't give a prediction as such, just in case I get asked to cover the fight. But what I will say is that it's gonna be a tough one for the smaller man. I think size is definitely a big part to play in this. Things can happen, but yeah, you know, it's a tall order, isn't it, for Crawford to beat Canelo at super middleweight.
Tim Bradley expressed strong confidence in Terence Crawford's ability to defeat Canelo Alvarez, even at 168 pounds. He questioned if Canelo, who couldn't knock out Jermell Charlo, would really be able to stop Crawford. Bradley made it clear that despite what others might say or doubt, he firmly believes Crawford will find a way to win. He hinted that there's a secret behind his prediction, something he knows but isn't ready to reveal, that makes him confident in picking Crawford for the victory.
If Canelo couldn't knock out Charlo, or you really think that he's gonna knock out Crawford? I would pick Terence Crawford to beat a Canelo Alvarez, even at 168. Everybody can call me crazy and whatever you want to say. I get it. Y'all didn't believe me when I told you about Spence, but trust me, Crawford will figure out a way. I know a secret y'all don't know, and I ain't gonna tell you why I would pick Terence Crawford, but it's part of the secret, is the reason why I'm picking him to win the fight. So
Bill Haney made it clear that Terence Crawford is a serious and fearless fighter who isn't intimidated by anyone, no matter their size. He urged people to forget the idea that Crawford might be outsized or outmatched, insisting that narrative is over. Haney confidently declared that Crawford is the best fighter in the world and predicted that the fight would end with Canelo being thoroughly beaten and left battered in the ring.
Because Crawford ain't nothing to play with. He ain't scared of nobody, and you ain't too big for Crawford. So kill that narrative. It's over with. Blood has been drawn, and you're gonna see Crawford is the best fighter in the world.
How does this fight end, Bill?
Watch. Listen. Canelo will be beat up like a bloody pulp.
Boosi Enis shared his strong belief that Terence Crawford is well equipped to handle the jump to 168 pounds and come out on top. He compared Crawford's ability to move up in weight to that of his brother, Jaron Boots Enis, who has proven he can dominate bigger opponents. Boosi highlighted Crawford's intelligence in the ring, praising how he conserves energy and picks his shots carefully, which will serve him well at the higher weight class.
Well, people ain't gonna believe me, but I'm leaning towards Terence.
Oh, okay.
Remember this though, Terence and Boots is almost like similar when it comes to that weight thing, right?
Yes.
Boots gets up big, but I seen Boots at a certain weight where he can handle them big guys and stopping them. Be knocking them out, you know, in the sparring in the gym. Wow. When he's up in weight. So I think that's a beautiful weight for Terence, but that's going up to 168 though, right?
Yeah, 168.
Yeah, but I think he can handle it, man.
He can do it.
And then one thing about Terence though, people don't understand, he can box and he's smart.
Yes.
He don't waste no punches, man.
So he won't waste that energy.
And he's really smart, man, when it comes to that boxing game.
If Boosi were training Crawford for a fight against Canelo, his strategy would focus on using sharp combinations and constant movement to frustrate Canelo. Since Canelo relies on timing and set up to land punches, disrupting his rhythm would be key. Boosi would have Crawford hit clean shots and then tie up Canelo to prevent him from settling into his usual pace. By walking Canelo back to the center and slowing things down, Crawford could force mistakes and capitalize on Canelo's frustration, making him more vulnerable to clean counters.
But it was me and I'm training him.
Yeah.
I would have him frustrating Canelo. What I would do with him, I would hit him with some good shots, combination shots, because you know, Canelo got to be set to throw punches.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I mean? If what you call Crawford boxing move, he don't like nobody to boxing move, and that's what I think Crawford is going to do. And then once, this is what I would tell him to do. We'll box him and hit him with good shots. You know what I mean? Set him up. Soon as he get ready to get set, tie him up, walk him to the center.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Kill that clock.
You keep on doing it over and over, and then once you start doing that, right, they lose their cool. Then they open up for all kinds of shots.
Nice. Frustrating, right, Coach?
Yep, frustration.
Mark Tibbs shared his perspective on the potential matchup between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. While he admires Crawford's style and respects his skills, Tibbs leans toward Canelo because of the weight advantage. He believes that fighting at a heavier weight class will favor Canelo and could give him the edge in the bout. Despite this, Tibbs acknowledged that both fighters are highly talented, so an upset is always possible, but if pressed to choose, he would pick Canelo due to the weight factor.
Stylistically, I fancied Terence Crawford, yeah? But the weight, I'm leaning toward Canelo, because, you know, I think it's going to suit Canelo more, the weight advantage. But, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Terence Crawford won, and I wouldn't be surprised if if Canelo won. Not sitting on the fence. It's just that. But if I have to lean towards someone, it would be Canelo because of the weight's going to suit him more, in my opinion.
Ronnie Shields expressed high expectations for the fight, believing both Canelo and Crawford will come in well prepared and in excellent condition. He favors Crawford, highlighting his awkward style, which includes switching stances and strong counterpunching. Shields thinks Crawford will trouble Canelo without having to constantly run around the ring, thanks to his ability to adjust and bring new looks during the fight. He described Crawford as a complete fighter with all the tools needed to succeed. If he were coaching Crawford, Shields would advise him to use his reach effectively and focus on targeting Canelo's body to control the pace and flow of the fight.
I think it's going to be a great fight, number one. I think both guys are going to be in great shape, like always. And look, you know, I'm favoring Crawford because I just think Crawford is an awkward fighter, and I think he's going to give Canelo a problem just because he switches both ways, and he won't be running all around the ring like school did. You know, Crawford is a great counterpuncher also. Crawford is everything a fighter needs to be. And I think he's going to show Canelo different things that he haven't seen before.
Absolutely. And Coach, if you were training Crawford, what would be some of the keys to victory that you would tell him?
Use your reach and touch his body.
Trainer McIntyre addressed the criticism that Terence Crawford hasn't faced big-name opponents by highlighting Crawford's own response. He explained that while some say Crawford only fights lesser-known fighters, Crawford points out that those opponents became well-known only after he defeated them. This, Bomac said, is a testament to how talented Crawford truly is because he makes good fighters look ordinary in the ring.
Well, I'm going to tell you like this. I think Crawford rebuttal was everybody always say he hasn't fought nobody or everybody that he fought was a no name. But I'm gonna tell you like this: what Crawford said. Well, they was something until Crawford fought him. So obviously he's doing a great job because he's making everybody look normal.
Bomac also shared that Crawford wants to face Canelo without any rehydration clause, emphasizing his confidence in his pound-for-pound skills. He said Crawford is prepared to take on the full challenge at the higher weight and is determined to prove he is the best. According to Bomac, when a fighter truly believes in himself, there is no need for special rules or limits, and Crawford is ready to go all in against the top competition.
Oh man, that's what Crawford wants. He wants to show the world that he's the best, so hey, why put stipulations in there when you know that you can be the best? So let's go test ourselves.
Sam Jones shared his thoughts on the Crawford versus Canelo fight, revealing that he has shifted his support to Terence Crawford. He admitted that he once believed Canelo would come out on top, but after watching Canelo's recent fights, he reconsidered. Sam noted that both fighters appear to be showing signs of decline, though he meant no disrespect by that observation. He pointed out that Crawford is in his late 30s, an age when it's natural for any athlete to slow down. Sam also suggested that Canelo's financial success might affect his motivation. Ultimately, he feels confident that Crawford will win on points, but joked that he might change his mind as the fight draws closer.
I'm backing Crawford now. I thought Canelo was going to win, but I don't like what I've seen in the last couple of fights from Canelo.
To him.
I'm just saying, right? They're both, in my opinion, gently on the decline, yeah? Gently. And that's not disrespectful because I'm a huge Crawford fan. Huge Crawford fan. But he's 38. What is he, 37, 38? Naturally, you are going to dip, yeah? Canelo Alvarez has made more money than I'm sure he knows what to do with. So it's like, how do you keep motivating yourself? Crawford's going to be sharp. I just have a sneaky feeling, and by the way, I will probably contradict myself before these knobheads start saying, he said this. I think I'll change my mind, but as it stands in my head, I believe Crawford will win on points.
Galal Yafi expressed his admiration for Terence Crawford and respect for his abilities, but he ultimately believes that Canelo Alvarez will win the fight. He pointed out that Canelo's size advantage and extensive experience fighting top-tier opponents over many years make a significant difference. Yafi emphasized that Canelo's superstar status and proven track record could give him the edge against Crawford in this matchup.
I think Canelo. I like Crawford, I really like Crawford, but I think Canelo's too big, too experienced. He's been in massive fights for years now. against superstars, and well, he's a superstar, but yeah, I think Canelo.
Alicia Baumgardner described the fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez as a great matchup, highlighting that both fighters are highly experienced, athletic, and skilled. She noted Canelo's long career, his ability to overcome tough challenges, and his resilience after setbacks. At the same time, she praised Crawford's recent dominant performances, saying that the world is finally witnessing his full talent. While Alicia admitted it's difficult to pick a clear winner, she believes that experience will play a crucial role and could ultimately decide the outcome of the fight.
You know, that's a great fight. You have two experienced fighters. You know, when we talk about experience, when we talk about athleticism, when we talk about skill, all those come together when you think of Terence Crawford and Canelo. And with what I'm seeing is that, you know, Canelo's been in this game for years. You know, he's experienced with losses twice. You know, he took a challenge fighting Bivol, lost, came back. He's doing what he loves to do. And I think we saw the fight with Terence Crawford and him dominating in a fashion that the world was ready to see. And then we seen his last fight. So we're kind of taking off from your last fight, seeing that it's going to be a great fight. I can't pick a winner, but you know, experience speaks, and experience will trump everything come that fight.
That's it for today's video. So what are your thoughts on this? Share your thoughts in the comments section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video. Also check out our other videos.